Our NASCAR Sprint Cup Series driver media availabilities. We're joined now by the driver of the number 48 Lowe's Red Vest Chevrolet for Hendrick Motorsports, Jimmie Johnson. Jimmie, this has been a pretty decent track for you. I think you've got 4 wins here, which is the most among active drivers. You're the only driver with wins here in consecutive seasons, and Hendrick Motorsports overall as an organization has a total of 9 wins. What are your thoughts heading into Sunday's race?
Excited to be back, obviously. This is such a cool racetrack. I dreamed of racing here as a kid, but my dreams then, the cars didn't have fenders on them. So to come back, still have a chance to race here, still have an opportunity to win 4 of these things. Hopefully a few more chances to pull into victory lane and celebrate, and then even head out and kiss the brakes would be really cool. And I guess from a race standpoint, I'm glad that we're here with this package and not with the package that we had last year. Very difficult to kind of complete passes and kind of get around the racetrack. It was just a much different experience last year, and I was a part of the test last week, and it was nice to have the cars drive like they did and like I remember from the 14 season.
Excellent. We'll go ahead and open it up to questions for Jimmie. You raise your hand. We'll get a microphone to you. We'll start over here with Claire B. Lang, then we'll go up front here to Bob.
Our radio. I think we're on now. Claire B. Lang, Sirius XM NASCAR Radio. Jeff Gordon was in here talking about he hasn't done the digital dash. He went to the Chevy simulator. There are a lot of things he feels good about. The team is great. What do you think his biggest challenge will be getting back into a car at this track? He's a champion. He knows how to do it here. We got that part of it. What will be the hardest part, do you think?
I guess the people part for me. He has so many laps in a race car and so many laps here. The dash, they can move it and change it however they would like. Once the excitement kind of being on the track for the first time goes away and the butterflies subside, he'll be out there and do just fine. So I don't see it being difficult for him. Sure, maybe a little rusty to get started, but once he gets in the flow of things, his last interaction with a crew chief was with Alan. I think it's his first time really working with Greg. So I think it's more people related leading to what he ultimately wants to do, which is win here. I think he's going to have a great experience. He's going to be fast. He's going to be competitive, all of that. But to really find that last little bit, I think, is more in relationships and building those relationships in a hurry.
We're going to go up front here to Bob, then we'll go to Jordan.
Bob Pockers, ESPN. Kind of building on that, you won Daytona 500s with crew chief, with kind of an interim crew chief.
Yeah.
So, I mean, is this any different than working with a crew chief or with somebody when your crew chief's been suspended for him?
Yeah, I think it is, and largely because the group is together, working together, and then somebody's pulled out. For Jeff, he has been away from this side of the garage area. He's been out of the race car. He doesn't know these crew guys, and as we all know, the relationships that exist between driver, crew chief, and engineers is really where the speed lies. So I do think it is a different situation. It's not impossible to pull off, but it is different than what I've personally experienced.
We're going to go to Jordan, and then we'll go up front over here.
Jordan Bianchi, SBNation.com. Jimmie, when did you find out that Jeff was coming back, and how involved in this process have you been?
Honestly, I haven't been all that involved. Mr. Hendrick contacted me and let me know that I'd see something soon, and Jeff would be in the car, which they thought would just be at Indy. I guess it's really when I was told that Alex was going to be in the car, so the Thursday before New Hampshire. And then, if needed, Jeff would be in the car, and then honestly, the release I saw the other day said that Jeff would be in the car in Pocono too. So things are moving very quick, and in today's world, there's very little time between a decision and a press release or a decision in the media. So Junior and Jeff and those guys, it really exists, inside the 88 and with those individuals, and I haven't been a big part of it.
We're going to go up front here, and then we'll work our way to Kenny and home back.
Bruce Martin with Speed Sport and Autosport. How do you categorize the unique opportunity that now Jeff Gordon has his second chance to win his final Brickyard 400? And I have a follow-up.
Yeah, he didn't close the door. He said if the right opportunity came along, he'd get back in. But then at the same time, he wasn't like Mark Martin where he thought he wanted to stop and then couldn't, So special opportunities, I think we'll see him, and I think it's great for our sport. It's great for Hendrick Motorsports. The responsibilities Jeff is developing outside of the race car. This is a great connection point to see what the drivers at Hendrick have been talking about, the aero package, our power curves, the way the cars drive, all that stuff. So this is a very good opportunity for us in a lot of ways, and certainly for Jeff, as an individual to try to win a sixth.
And although Jeff won his first Cup race at Charlotte in the 1994 Coca-Cola 600, this is really the place that launched him. And the symmetry of being able to kind of come back here, his first race back since retirement, happens to be at Indianapolis.
Yeah, it's big. Just the way it worked out, obviously, but to have Tony Stewart in his final race, Jeff Gordon in his final race, part 2, it's a big time. And Jeff has always been so well supported by the fans at this racetrack, and I can only imagine how loud they're going to be at driver intros and how bonkers this place would go if he was able to win.
We're going to go right here to Kenny and Holly, then Jerry, then to Marty.
Kenny Bruce with NASCAR.com. Jimmie, you mentioned the test earlier.
There you are. Sorry, Kenny.
You mentioned the test earlier in your comments, and when we talked afterwards, we're talking about how fast you guys were, but you said when it heated up that you guys weren't as fast, but you're going to go back and look at everything. Did you guys find anything when you went through all that? Do you feel more confident now with it going to be as hot as it is?
Yeah, we feel much better about it. I mean, we have the engine shop bringing us a little bit more. We've been able to work on the car a bit more, and then trying to understand the grip loss that took place during the heat of the day. So we're well prepared. We've definitely made some changes, and we're hopeful that it'll carry over, and we'll find out pretty quick with practice starting right in the the middle of the heat.
Go ahead, Holly.
Holly Kane, NASCAR.com. Similar question having to do with the heat. You obviously are in fantastic shape, but it's really come up for a lot of drivers. How are you going to handle it? Because it's supposed to be so extremely hot out here. Is that something that you feel like gives you a bit of an edge? Bring it on, the conditions like that?
Yeah, I do. I mean, heat's tricky though. I had an issue in Richmond a couple years ago when one of the air conditioners, or the air conditioner that blows cool air on my helmet, went out, and it turned into a heater actually, and was superheating my helmet, and I cramped, and then the cramping led to me passing out in front of the cameras and everybody to see. So that wasn't very fun. Really, I find that heat training and trying to cycle or run in the heat of the day, as brutal as it is, it does help. It helps me mentally try to win that battle, and then also it helps me understand from a nutrition and hydration standpoint what I need to do to function so that I don't cramp. But it is a very delicate thing. Some people are more sensitive to heat than others, and I truthfully have always been that way in my career, even from back in my motocross days. We would always have a regional championship in Las Vegas in the middle of summer, and I was always very sensitive to heat and wouldn't have good races there. So, it's something that I've always had to work on. Chad has fortunately been aware of it, and we've tried to keep me cooler in the car, and then the fitness has led to hopefully a stronger, me being stronger in that moment, but also the knowledge of keeping my body where it needs to be.
We'll go to Jerry, then Marty, and then we'll come up to the front left.
Jerry Jordan, former Space Network and Kicking the Tires. Real quick, have you talked to Dale Jr. at all? And also, what's the opinion of the irony of Gordon sitting in an Earnhardt car, given the fan rivalries through the years?
I haven't thought about that aspect of it. I did talk to Jeff, and I said, man, at least you're going to be in a familiar-looking race car, different number and all, but Exalta on the side. And then that is one of the rare phone calls I've had in the last month. I mean, everybody texts now, so Junior and I have texted often. We've even texted with Amy a few times, just checking on her and how she sees things through her eyes. And they're doing well, and we all saw the tweet this morning from Junior, so it's kind of a day-by-day thing for him, and to read those encouraging 140 characters, it was pretty neat to see. So hopefully he's healing quick.
Go ahead, Marty.
Marty Smith, ESPN. Johnson, you might have addressed this last week, so forgive me if you did. I wasn't there. When it was announced that Junior wasn't going to race, you responded saying it's just not going to be the same. It won't be the same without you there. I wonder, what impact does he have on Hendrick Motorsports that we don't see?
Yeah, that's a great question. I mean, his, for starters, we all look for different things in our race cars. Hadn't spent a lot of time with Alex before, but there's certain characteristics that I can apply from Junior's feel and from his setup to my car, and right away I felt like, man, I don't know if I'm going to be able to do that now. I won't have him in a team meeting. I won't be able to really get in his brain and understand why that shock worked or why that truck arm location worked, whatever it might be. So that part was missing, and then our friendship and respect for one another, has just grown over the years, and I just enjoy being around him. And at times it can be a little quiet in our truck, and it's fun to head next door and climb in the truck and just shoot the breeze with him. He definitely keeps things lighthearted and fun, and has amazing wit, which we've all seen. So, it was different leading into the weekend and Friday and stuff. But once we got in the car on Sunday, and I had a chance to be around Alex, I thought he did an amazing job filling in for the race team, and an unfortunate situation with the tire going down and him crashing. But you learn people, and I've really enjoyed having him as a teammate, and miss him. Can't wait for him to get back.
We're going to go to your left to Phil, and then we'll finish up with Dustin up here on the right.
Philip B. Wilson, IMS.com. I know Hendrick Motorsports has had a little bit of a rough patch here recently, but what does it mean to come here, a place you've obviously done well and the team has historically done well?
We love big events. That's one thing about Hendrick Motorsports. We look at the 500, the 400, all big races as an opportunity, and are excited for it. And I guess last week's kind of a good example of some of the difficulties we've had. I mean, we had competitive cars all running the top 11, and in one corner we lose 2 of them. So it's been tough, but I think we have a good foundation to build from. We have respectable finishes in our cars, but no one wants to be a decent finisher, respectable finisher. We all want to dominate, and we're working real hard and on all fronts, from our engine shop, chassis shop, aero, teams, pit stops, all of it. We're all highly inspired to get back on top of the mountain as we feel that we should be at Hendrick Motorsports. So I guess we're tired of looking through the silver lining and saying, hey, we did have 4 in the top 11 with 30 to go before a crash happened. So and I've lost a bunch of cars here recently. I've been in the wall a bunch, so we got to quit that. I slid through my pits last week, running near the top 10, and had to start 25th or something, and got back to 13th. So just got to clean it up on all fronts, and hopefully we have it all together here and can win.
Jimmie, we'll go over here to your right to Nate.
Nate Ryan, NBC Sports. Jimmie, kind of related to that, Ray Evernham said this week that it might be good to get Jeff back in one of your cars because of the input he can give to your engineering staff. Do you agree that he might provide like a fresh perspective to help you guys improve? Or?
Yeah, I totally agree. I mean, we're months in, and I feel like all the drivers have expressed where we could be stronger and what we might need, but a fresh set of eyes and I guess it is kind of biased, but versus the 4 drivers, an unbiased evaluation of the car and where we stack up, how the engine feels compared to others. Jeff's had a unique opportunity to see the sport from a totally different angle, and certainly watching cars and I know he's formed some opinions watching other race cars and where the Toyotas might beat us. So to be able to sit in the car, look for those moments and those opportunities, I think will be helpful for us for sure.
Quick follow-up. You mentioned sliding through the pit stall and everything. Do you feel like you're pressing at all?
Oh yeah, and that's the problem. I mean, I've been at 110%, and you make way too many mistakes there, and I think our team has too. So it's one thing that we have recognized and are going to really try to dial back and make sure that we run where we should. If we have a 5th place car that week, let's be sure to at least finish 5th. Maybe there's some opportunities to give us a chance to win, but stop making mistakes. And I got to do that first and foremost.
Jimmie, thank you for joining us. Good luck this weekend.
Cool. Thank you.